The latest update from our leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, we are vindicating. God is so great. God is wonderful, and we are seeing the goodness, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Yes, our leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu vindicated again from the Kenya court, where they have accepted and compensate him for the whether it is a mistake or fault from them for his kidnap. Finally from court, he was a kind of vindicated. He was to be compensated with 10 million shillings. So for now, we are glad that things are now unfolding for our good, because all this while that there is nothing, no concern, there is no things to show that people are there to do the needful, or to show that they are part of the law that was made for humanity worldwide, internationally, both locally and internationally. Now that they have started from where this problem started, I believe that it will extend to Nigeria to do the needful as well. If the Kenya where he was kidnapped can submit to say that they were wrong, that it was their fault. After all, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu arrived in Kenya with a British passport, not Nigerian. He didn't return with as a Nigerian citizen. He returned to Kenya as a British citizen, but just because of injustice and evil-minded people, they just do it as if to say they, in fact, what was in their mind initially was to delete him. But when they finally, God failed them, when what they had planned didn't work out the way they planned it, they thought they just want to make him to feel bad before he would die, all this thing. But they don't know that it will turn to become another thing. Somebody that was isolated, somebody that was mocked, now have been a kind of have attracted the global concern. It is now global concern, and all eyes is now on them, and they cannot do any other thing than to try all their possible best to implicate or to lie or to do things to make him to be guilty, but all in vain. They have not succeeded till today. So we thank God for it. It's not a small win, it's a big win. And we are winning it all around, both from his side and that of Mazi Simon Eba. Because even this last time that we were like that he's coming out and something came up again, all these things is just delay that will never vindicate, delay that will never prevail against them. So as it is delaying, the more it is exposing more lies and the agenda from the wicked people, and it is for their own failure, not to us. So we thank God for so far so good. And for from the office of the government for USB, they are still doing the needful. If this place can recognize us, what's that place in America? I've forgotten the name of the country or maybe state that recognize Igbo. They called it Igbo, but when they say Igbo, it's not just Igbo, it is Biafra in general. So once they have recognized it and give the day, I think 14th of June, as Igbo Day from their own side. I'm sorry that I've forgotten the name of but it's there in internet, is everywhere. It's just to tell you about how we are progressing, because if nothing is happening, people will not recognize us. Though people will say it's not Biafra that they recognize, don't forget that name is very difficult to be called, because the time that the whole world we cannot do anything but to accept it is when you understand the power in that name. So whether they call it or not, we have known what they meant by that. And small, it will be global, it will be general. In fact, everybody will begin to run to be part of this kingdom, because it is a kingdom of God on earth. Yes, that is how I'm saying it, and I'm glad to be part of it. So for the propaganda and the saga, this war going on now among the fallback, even to down to DOS, there are things that I used to see in social media. That was the fight is not just from only at fallback. It have even extended to DOS and all those that are against the movement. Because you know the problem we have today is just to allow the movement to continue. They want to quit it, to wait till when we don't know. Had it been that we have been waiting, how would we have reached where we are today? But we thank God for the grace, for the gifts of wisdom among our leaders that refuse to be stagnant, even in all the setback, even in all the push, even in all the tryings, the threats to stop them, yet they continue moving. And that's why today we have become a nation. We have redeclared on the 29th of November 2024, and it stands just as other country can be. We are sovereign nation. If anybody is telling you we are not yet a country, we are not yet sovereign, tell that person that that is his or her own thought. But in reality, even though that we are still in exile, it can happen. Some country that have become nations, that we are that obtain their independence, some of them that were in exile, that is how they were in exile till they small in a bit get rid of their enemies and take over their land. That is what we are now. After recognition, when this recognition will be going on, when people will now begin to support us, like other countries will now join hands to support, this will just be like a twinkle of an eye, and you will be surprised. It will be like a magic, and everything will begin to be put in place. So it is not, we are not to be worried about that because our land is not yet secured, we are not yet a nation. No, we are a sovereign nation, yet we are in exile. Even though that we exile does not stop, because already we have everything in place in homeland. Governors, both all the leaders that is needed as a country is all there. So because we have met with all these criteria, it is no longer a problem. That is why they must recognize us as a country. And not only that, it has been done and signed. Just if they can recognize that of Ojukwu during the time of Ojukwu, just that he declared, they have not started even, and you saw what happened. But I thank God that today, because of what our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did for us, they thought that war would broke. It didn't break anything. It's just this that we are facing, the little enemy in the land that is causing, even among our people that are using them. That is the what we have. But I believe that in no distant time, especially as we are hoping to see our leaders out, that all these things will be over. Because what we are facing, the problem we have today is not even those we thought is our problem, but our own people who are bringing them, like all these governors, all these leaders, igwes, and that cannot be sincere in truth. See them crowning criminals, calling them names that they have not given to their people, all these things. But we will never give up. We are not stepping back an inch. So whatever that is going on now is, though the people are not all that they are a kind of, there is fear in the land, and all this being uncomfortable with what is going on. But the only thing I will assure you is that freedom is coming soon. Victory is assured, and we are focusing on it to see that it come to pass. So don't allow anybody to confuse you. Be at guard. And for all this propaganda that is going on with fallback and all these things is what God will use to give us glory at last, because our history must be interesting. Anybody that read it must know that, just like Bible, that is how you will see our history, because everything that has happened in the Bible, we're already seeing it, and yet more are to be unfold. So keep listening, keep watching from the right source. You will never regret you did. Thank you so much. Till I come your way next time.